behalf of the 3TU Center of Ethics and Technology. That's a recent initiative of the three technical universities, brought together their philosophers, the people who are interested in the ethics of technology. And one of the main things that we do is to try to relate the second and the third term to each other. The last 3 years that we've been trying to convince the people who are coming from technology, the engineers and the applied scientists, that they should pay attention to the ethics of their work. And we've tried to point out to the ethicists that actually, if you do ethics in the 21st century, you should think about technology, because that is in a sense, where the rubber hits the road. If you really want to have impact and to be at the spot where you can make a difference in this world, technology is certainly a very interesting place to look at. Now, into both of these groups, and this is phase 2 of our initiative, we would like to put development on the agenda of both. There are some colleagues from Delft here who have been quite successful in the last years to point out that development and the values underlying thinking and development are a legitimate topic for engineers and applied scientists to think about and actually incorporate into their work. There's a big success in the minors that our students are taking. They're very enthusiastic about that. What we've tried to put into the equation is, and it has been mentioned before, is the design stance. That is, designing infrastructures, institutions, artifacts, whether these are condoms or new drilling techniques that we introduce in Bangladesh or India to get rid of our arsenic in the drinking water. These are all kind of design projects that we try to have on the table and think in the early stages of the design of these technologies how we could incorporate basic values, try to increase the capabilities, the functions of people, and accommodate local values and also the results and the fruits of social science that is relevant to making these things work. And that is a notable shift also in ethics, is thinking in terms of design and in terms of the technology. It may sound very obvious, but to ethicists that is really a big shift, because they haven't been thinking along those lines. If you, for example, look at people who have been thinking about development in ethics, like Peter Singer and a couple of his colleagues, usually the shape or the format of their analyses or the results of their analysis has been, wouldn't it be a wonderful idea if everyone gave 1% of his annual income to poverty relief? And then they would kind of write a book to document that this follows from their utilitarian theories. And it's all true. That's a valid and sound argument. But then the second thought is, of course, but this is not going to happen. We have been saying this for decades, and it's not going to happen. So the next step in ethics, the next generation of ethicists is saying, well, this is only phase 1. Phase 2 is come up with a smart design of new incentive structures, new institutional arrangements that will make this work, actually. It's almost a Marxist turn in ethics, where you say, well, philosophers have been speculating and thinking and analyzing now for 2,000 years. Now let's think about how to change the world in such a way that the results of the application of normative theories will actually stand a chance when we try to implement them. So that is something that I would like to, by way of an inspirational kind of, hopefully, contribution. So we have been successful to both the engineering and applied scientists and the ethicists to say, well, there are a couple of subjects that you have not, let's say, which are under-theorized and that need our urgent attention. So that's one. And so these are, the list of engineering challenges and also at the same time very urgent problems for ethicists to address in a technological sense, not only as privacy is important or poverty relief is important, and then preaching to whatever community, but no, actually coming up with clever designs of how this could work, and therefore you have to drill down to the details, to either the institutional details, to economic details, or the technological details. It's just not good enough to say justice and equality. Already one of our colleagues, and there's a leaflet in your package, Thomas Foggy has 20 years as a student of John Rawls, has written a book. It's called Realizing Rawls. He was already aware of the fact that you have to move beyond just a very vague and abstract ideal of how to redesign the basic institutions of a just society. You have to kind of drill down and provide the details. Otherwise, it's just meaningless. It's meaningless in the 21st century, which is all about technology and global institutions and incentive schemes, to say, well, this is important. You have to somehow provide details. So you will find, probably give some wonderful examples. This is the one I like a lot, and I think it's an exemplification and it's an epitome of what a technical university that is on the right track and is inspired by moral motives can do, just applying applied science and technology and engineering to a very simple, or not so simple, but apparently simple, piece of equipment which helps people to clean drinking water for a very, very low price. So this is what we would like to do. This is the basic scheme of how I see the ethics that could be helpful in the context of development. That is designing for development, designing for justice and equality. On the one hand, we have these wonderful ideals, which are good to have, but could be just a little bit bland if you don't provide the details. So this is very important: values, norms, laws, and ideals, and they can be kind of specified in different ways. But they have, at the end of the day, they have to be incorporated and embedded in the things that we make, the things that we ship to third world countries, and that we impose sometimes upon people. We have to make sure that it works and it really actually is helping them. But it's very difficult to, it's easily said, and PowerPoint kind of supports these wonderful things. But of course the problem is, how do we actually implement them, and how do we show that we have been successful in implementing these values about equality, about justice, and poverty relief into the things that we make and that we transfer. So that's the arrow to the other side. How can we actually demonstrate and justify what we've done? So I'm very excited that we could, as three technical universities in the Netherlands, and of course we have a special position, still we have a special position in the world, and that's the reason why many people and colleagues in ethics like to come to The Hague, because they know that we have a special kind of position when it comes to development and development aid in the Netherlands. I think it's for us, and it has been pointed out in the previous discussion, that we have to follow up and take the next step and show how we can be very concrete and specific in the areas that are also part of our strengths in innovation and technology, to actually make this next step and to just not leave it up in the air, but be very, this is where we could help in water management and in IT and in high-tech systems and what you have. There are many, I think it's mentioned over there, the last bullet, there's an exciting new development of the Dutch Research Council. It's called Societally Responsible Innovation, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is also contributing to that financially, and it would like to see a return on investment. It wants to have projects that are exactly in this area: innovation, technology, and